Jesus Christ has come. He was born, and now he's been installed as king at the right hand of God. Friends, things are bleak in American culture today. There's reason to be pessimistic about American culture. Maybe you saw this. Alicia went to Dollar Tree the other day, this week, in fact, to go get some Christmas bags, and maybe you heard the Dollar Tree is no longer $1. It's $1.25 now, so it's dollar plus tree, dollar-ish tree. Dollar Tree, psych. Joe Biden Dollar Tree. There are legitimate reasons to be pessimistic about American culture, but you know what, friends? America is not the kingdom of Christ. And it may very well be that America is a blip on the radar in the grand scheme of things. We should be optimistic about the victory of Jesus. We tend to get sour, but look at what God has done. Zoom out a little bit outside of 2021. 2,000 years ago, there were 12 of us. Now we cover the earth. Christianity is the largest religion in the world. This little baby boy surrounded by animal feces now has 2.3 billion people who claim that he is Lord. 0 Christians to now 30% of the world. People mock God in America today, removing God from any place that he ever was. But, in Latin America, 3,000 people a day become Christians. The church is multiplying like crazy in China, looking to be 300 million strong by the year 2030. I'm not worried about the supposed decline of the church in the West, and it is declining, but what God's doing is purifying and purging. We will be smaller, but we will be stronger. And you know how I think our great-great-great-grandkids are going to hear the gospel? From missionaries sent over here from Nigeria and Brazil and Korea. I want to show you an animated video a little bit about what God's been up to in 2,000 years and how the government of this son has increased. I'm hopeful, and I hope you'll be hopeful. And I got work to do, and I hope you'll join in. The increase of his government. God has promised, and he'll make good on his promise. He's promised, and it's in the past tense because it's as good as done. Psalm chapter 2, verse 8, God says to the Son, I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. Jesus Christ is Lord. Of the increase of his government and of peace there shall be no end. This Christ child was born to rule, and his rule is increasing. Perhaps it's only just begun. We're only 2,000 years in. What if he tarries for 2,000 more? What if he tarries for 10,000 more? The empire of grace will forever expand. The kingdom is already, but not yet. It doesn't just come down like the 82nd Airborne, but like a baby in a manger. Jesus says in Matthew 13 that the kingdom's like the smallest of all seeds, a grain of mustard seed. It starts really small, but over time it grows and becomes the largest plant. His kingdom will grow gradually over time as it has. One Old Testament scholar says his kingdom will increase and occupy progressively all space until he rules over all. Flip back at Isaiah chapter 2, the vision given to us. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2. It shall come to pass in the latter days that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established as the highest of the mountains and shall be lifted up above the hills, and all the nations shall flow to it, and many people shall come and say, Come, let us go to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways and that we may walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Listen to 1 Corinthians 15:25. Speaking of Jesus, he must reign until he's put all his enemies under his feet. The last enemy to be destroyed is death, for God has put all things in subjection under his feet. This Christ child that we celebrate grew up. He died. He defeated death. He was raised. He ascended. He was enthroned. And this verse says now he must reign until all his enemies are put under his feet. And he will remain there till he does that. And then he will defeat the last enemy. And the last enemy is death itself. What's our role? Our role is to serve this king. And our role is to expand his rule. How do we do that? By sharing the gospel. How does this king subdue his enemies? By offering terms of peace through the cross. And he offers those terms of peace through us. Won't happen without us.